Hello, everybody. Welcome to Martyrs of Persepolis, a Wrath and Glory campaign featuring centered around the Sabbat campaign, the Sabbat Crusade, to be more specific. Um, so, to get things started, I figure we'll all introduce ourselves, and then we'll get into character creation. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Yeah, starting with you, Torin.
Okay, I'll go first. Hey everybody, I am the underscore towing TOERING on Twitter and elsewhere on the internet. And I am completely and utterly clueless about uh, the Warhammer universe and the Wrath and Glory system. So you are going to be learning right along with me, which I think is going to be a blast.
Yeah. And how about you, Ray?
Hi, my name is Ray Alexa. This will also be my first time playing Warhammer, so you will be learning alongside me and Jason. Uh, and you will learn the rules with me as I continually ask Harry, what dice do I roll for this again?
It's all D6s.
What am I doing?
Hey,
So,
folks.
yep, now JT.
Hey, folks. I'm JT. You can find me around the world on the internet at Sensomancer. This is my first time playing Wrath of Glory. However, I am been into the 40k universe as a wargaming player, painter, miniature reader, video game player, etc., for like 20 years. So I'm, though somehow I have not read any of the Sabbath Crusade books, which is probably
They're worth
high
reading.
heresy.
They're real good. Um, so a few things before we get started to our viewers. You may notice that there are three missing boxes. There seems to have been a communication snafu, something that will be fixed by next week. So I think that for this week, just so that we don't leave people out, I think what we're going to do is we'll just do character creation and some character building exercises that'll help flesh out backstories even further. Um, I enjoy making life paths, so I'm gonna subject you a little bit to that. Not to the degree where it would mess up any concepts you already have, but it just adds fun stuff that happens in your youth, or you get to decide how it affects you. So your background is going to be you all grew up in Hive Primaris on Tassilius. Wait, where's the? I have a document here. Oh boy. um, yes. Sorry, this is my first stream on Vorpal Tales. I'm a little nervous. Okay. So yes, on to Silius. So so you all live in a hive city. Now, a hive city, for those of you that don't know, is essentially a mega city where instead of having a few million people living in it, you have tens of millions of people. And what ends up happening is it builds up over time into this massive spire that reaches into the stratosphere. Uh, People living at the bottom are very are the poor people live at the bottom where there's crime, gangs, corruption, violence, and very often just collapses from the hive being built up on top of it. Uh, and as you go higher in the spire, you get more and more wealth and opulence until you reach the very peaks where the planetary governors or lords would live. Um, these things are, being a planetary lord seems like it'd be better than being a sump miner or an industrial worker in the hives, and it probably is in most aspects, but it is not by any means a safe lifestyle. There is constant backstabbing, uh, constant political power
Literally,
plays going on.
literally backstabbing.
Yeah, no, quite literally backstabbing, poisoning, shooting, blowing up. It is all very bad. In short, this planet is your home, but it also sucks, and carving out your place in it is has been difficult for your characters. So let's start off with concepts. If you're all going to be guardsmen, but don't really let that get to you too much. If you don't have an idea for for how you want to start with your characters, we can roll some die. I have a table right here that I've made for this very occasion for your backgrounds. However, if you do have an idea of where on the social strata you'd like to be, if you'd like to be a criminal or a merchant or an artist, all of these are valid character backstories. Just about anything you can think of.
I came in with nothing. I kind of like the idea of a ganger that is sort of wants to go straight, so to speak. Maybe not so much that as much as having a stable income and meal coming his way would be, and that's. Well, I don't know. It sort of depends. Are we getting drafted?
You can be drafted or you can sign up.
So yeah, I'll just say that I'm signing up with
Okay.
the card because of that.
Yeah, that'll clear any debts you have, any criminal convictions that are outstanding still. Ray Alexa, I know that you have you already have a concept in mind, and I would love for you to tell us about it.
Okay, so my character concept was, I came into this knowing absolutely nothing about Warhammer. I still know nothing about it. But a few days ago, Harry was talking about, doing some research, and he mentioned, looking to hive cities. So Googled hive city, and I was reading a thing about it, and I clicked on a thing about highborns, and I was immediately I had a character idea. So my character, she was a younger daughter of a highborn family. Wasn't really going to inherit anything, was, got had that nice name behind her, but wasn't really going to inherit anything. And then a political rival accused my family of being heretics, and subsequently most of my family was executed, except for my character, who somehow was smuggled out. Harry, should I read the full name?
Go for it.
Okay.
That'll pad the runtime a bit. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, I asked Harry, if there was any kind of naming conventions that was common around the Highborn, and Harry was like, "Yeah, basically take the most ridiculous noble name." And I'm like, he just gave me permission to go absolutely apeshit, and I was like, excellent. So my character, she is the Arch Comtessa Theodosia Maximiliana Bettina Octavia Damaris Adelaide the 12th of House Allard Burdell, Baroness of Ruby Hall, and Lady of Dewspire. So kind of the exact.
Yeah.
I'll write that out in the chat.
So, Torin, do you have any ideas for where you'd like to be?
Well, I was doing a little bit of research as well, and I was interested in the mechanical priests.
Oh, a wannabe tech priest.
Yeah, so maybe a scrapper.
Yeah, that could definitely work. As someone living in the hive, one of the key...
my way up to that.
Yeah, I mean, being joining the machine cult of Mars, you kind of got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Being a scrapper in a hive would be incredibly useful because so much of hive life is built on sump mining. Essentially, the area of houses and infrastructure that's been crushed by the weight of the city as it grows gets mined for resources. And so scrapping machines and servitors and all that is an incredibly useful skill to have.
Yeah, so somebody who's just like can take garbage and make something useful-ish out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like that. So we've got our so being a scrapper, generally speaking, you would be of pretty low uh, social standing, social and financial standing.
Yeah, I'm assuming like the lowest, and then below that.
Yeah. Okay. So you're like
What was it?
us.
The undercity kind
Yeah,
of
you'd be an
area.
underhive
Yeah, underhive.
dweller.
That's right. Yeah.
So you've got your backgrounds and you've got your birth kind of circumstances and your careers. Now, what I like to do for all my games is I like to roll on events for youth events, followed by adolescent events, and career events. Now, these are things that happen in your life that I find really help build backstory very quickly and very easily. So, everybody, do me a favor and roll me a d20 and a d6. These don't really have mechanical impacts. They're pretty much entirely fluff, but I find they make things a little fun.
All right, a D6 and D20.
Mm-hmm.
6.
I got a 10 on my D20. What does that get me?
Okay. And what about your D6?
4.
Alrighty. So, in your youth, you discovered a secret. The nature of that secret is entirely up to you. And whether or not you chose to keep it a secret or reveal it is similarly up to you.
Okay.
Toring, how about you?
7 on the 20 and 1 on the 6.
Okay. You were involved in a workplace accident. What your role in this accident is up to you, whether or not you caused it, or were simply a bystander, or were a victim of it. Yeah, that's that for you. And Ray Alexa, how about you?
I got a 2 on my D20
Okay.
and a 4 on the D6.
You witnessed an assassination. So that fits perfectly in your backstory already.
I was like, what?
Again, the circumstance, who got assassinated, why they were assassinated, who assassinated them, up to you. Now, as you grow up, right, these will affect you, but, let's see what happens to you in your adolescence. A D20 and a D3 this time. So just a D6, divide by 2, and then round down.
But a 10 and a 3.
A 10 and a 3, okay. Okay, someone dear to you died during a conflict in the Underhive, so probably during a gang war. And you couldn't help them. Who that is, again, up to you.
I'll be right back.
I got a 3 on the 20 and a 1.
Yep. And your D6?
The 1.
3 and a 1.
3 and a 1.
One of your siblings vanished. You're not sure where they went or what happened to them, but they vanished. The circumstances of this vanishing are up to you, and I would encourage you to think about them before next session. Your responsibility in that, were you watching over this sibling and you weren't paying attention maybe, or, were they watching over you? Ray Alexa, are you... Okay. We'll just wait a minute then. So, your characters, your characters know each other? JT touring?
Probably, maybe. I mean, there's millions of people within the hive, and probably equally in the underhive, but maybe in passing at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would be, yeah. So we could say you guys are familiar.
Trying to think about what our backstory roles were and how those could be integrated. Because I'm wondering if, as part of a gang, maybe throwing this out there completely, whether or not you want to go with this, is like maybe we wanted to steal something from wherever you worked or wanted to cause a commotion, so we paid you to create a workplace accident as a distraction for something. What's one idea? Maybe we did the workplace accident and you were a victim of it, and that's how we know each other and we have a grudge. And then when we both end up in the guard, we're like, it's you. Fuck.
You asshole.
Yeah.
I like kind of like the first one where, like, when I was a child, you guys came to me and said, hey, do this and we will help you out or take care of your family or something like that. And then maybe when my sibling vanished, I came to you as a member of the gang to try and get help finding them or something. So we've had that's kind of a, hey, you guys owe me, help me find my sister or whatever.
Okay, that makes sense.
Ray Alexa, how about you? Can you give me a D20 and a D6?
Wait, did you what about my adolescent role?
Yeah, that one. That's the D20 and the D6.
Okay. Yeah, my roommate was being needy and lonely. She's like, I want attention. All right, I rolled a 13 on my D20 and a 1 on the D6.
Okay. You became friends with someone powerful. Again, the nature of this and the details are up to you. And I encourage you to think about this, of course. And all right. So now we get to the last of your really event roles for your career. So now this is for when you're more adult, working in whatever you're working. These will determine something that occurred to you on the job. So, yeah, just roll me a D20 and and another D6, and then we'll go from there.
And a 13 and a 4.
Okay. 13 and a 4. You achieve local fame or notoriety. Now, in a hive, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Is that notoriety maybe from helping the community, or did you get on the wrong side of the law, and now the Adeptus Arbites are looking for you, you know?
Yeah, I think with this whole gang thing, I sort of like the idea of just kind of basically growing up on the streets from a youngster, never, and trying to think what would I have notoriety for? Someone dear. So I'm trying to like, if I could put these in order. So discovered a secret.
Yep.
As a youth, and that could be
whatever.
Someone in a rival gang was fraternizing. Someone in my gang was fraternizing with someone in a rival gang. In my adolescence, part of that conflict, I ended up telling that secret to someone. And then in the conflict, one of my friends in the gang died during a conflict regarding this. I'll flesh this out more
of course,
later.
Yeah.
And then as an adult, I finally get my chance of revenge, maybe kill a gang leader or something small stakes, but enough that would give me notoriety within sort of my hab.
And that might give you notoriety in your hab block, maybe some fame, but also, right, doing something high profile like that, the Arbites are going to be interested in that rival gang, so that could give you a reason to go off world.
Yeah.
The Imperial Guard might be dangerous, but sticking around your hab block probably isn't going to mean you stay around for very long.
Yeah.
Toring, did your career roll?
Yep. 18
what are the numbers?
and
18?
6.
And a 6. Man, another one of your coworkers disappeared without a trace. I'm beginning to think you're cursed. Now, there is a pattern in your backstory. You can play off of that if you'd like. You don't have to, of course. Again, the circumstances are entirely up to you. And yeah, Ray Alexa, what did you roll?
I rolled an 18 and a 4.
An 18 and a 4. All right. Let's see. Well, you are killed violently. Now, that being said, this is the 41st millennium. As much as things suck for everybody, medical technology is very advanced, especially if you have the money to pay for it. So, your assassination, or your murder, was probably a setback, but not a permanent one. I see you pondering.
No, yeah, because like I'm thinking is like with, the way I've been like picturing her is like she's been living under like an assumed identity.
Yeah.
So she like hasn't been like touching that money.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of reasons people can be killed. Hell, it could be random,
You made a powerful friend, so maybe your powerful friend is the one who brought you back.
Yeah.
Or paid to have you brought back. Because they want to use you as a tool against the ruling family. Basically, they've got you in their back pocket as a trump card because they wiped out your family, and they can at some point in the future pop you out and be like, surprise, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. So, the odds of you all knowing each other are pretty slim in a hive of close to 50 million people. That being said, fate has a way of making things happen, especially in games that I run. So each of you is going to know each other in at least one way, and the way that is determined is you roll a d20 for each of the other players. So that is going to be each of you rolls 2d20.
I got an 8 for Toring.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a 16 for Ray Alexa.
Okay. So, in terms of Toring, you suspect that there is a traitor in your midst. Befriend them and report their suspicious behavior. So
I think Toring's character is a traitor?
Maybe you think he snitched on you, maybe you think that... it's up to you. Right. And what did you roll for Ray Alexa?
A 16.
A 16. You were introduced by a mutual friend with no explanation. Toring, how about you?
I got a 2 for JT.
Okay.
And an 18 for Ray.
Alrighty, so for JT, you were both betrayed by a mutual friend. And for Ray Alexa, they saved your life and you don't know how to repay them.
Alright.
And Ray Alexa,
is all of this pre-guard? All of this happens pre...
All this is pre-guard.
Okay.
I'm starting you off at first founding.
Okay. So here's what I rolled for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
2.
So you and Toring were also betrayed by a mutual friend, and you and JT were also betrayed by a mutual friend.
Oh, this has the hallmarks of 40K all over it.
Oh yeah, just everyone shanking each other in the back when they should be trying desperately to survive in a universe unbelievably hostile to life. So now that you have that, we can actually get into the meat of character creation. So we're going to start as rank 1. And, okie doke. Let's pull up that thingy. Unfortunately, I do not have the Roll20 sheets to give you just yet. Roll20 has these interactive character sheets that are absolutely excellent, but I don't have those. I haven't yet to be given admin privileges on the Roll20. But that's okay. So let's get your stats done. So one thing about the Wrath and Glory book that is something you might never get over, and what I might never get over, is that it, even though this is a new edition, so it's not terrible, it's still kind of disorganized because the original one was atrocious. So here are going to be your attributes as a Guardsman. You'll be Strength 3, Toughness 3, Agility 3, and Intelligence 3. So all your stats are 3, except for your willpower, your initiative, sorry. Except for your willpower, your initiative, and your fellowship. Now, these are suggested attributes. You can bounce these around. So say you wanted a Strength 4, you could take a point from your initiative and put it into the Strength, and vice versa. I wouldn't bring anything above 5. I mean, you could, but it would mean that you would have to... What were you saying?
Strength. What's T?
Toughness.
And A is agility.
Yep, and I is initiative.
Okay. And it's 1 for 1 if we want to move stuff around?
Yes, that's how I run it. I think that it makes a little more... So the way to think about it is 3 is perfectly average. 4 is good, like pretty good. 5 is your excellent. 2 is subpar, and 1 is dysfunctional.
Just so, and mechanically, we are all using the Guardsman archetype.
Yes, all using the Guardsman archetype.
Okay.
And then, of course, because you're tier 1, you get XP to buy skills. Where is the thingy? Back to the character. The character creation page, the basics of character creation, that page is a bit different. It is different in location to where the stuff you might need to know is, unfortunately.
Yes. JT, like what I'm thinking is your character wouldn't know, neither of your characters would know that my character was from like this highborn family. The mutual friend that the friend that introduced us, JT, was my... Well, you understand him to be my cousin. Like, oh yeah, this is my cousin, Thea.
Mm-hmm.
This is JT's character. Y'all should hang out. Deuces.
So, for buying XP, or for buying attributes, go to page 25 in the PDF, and that has a table of attributes to XP cost. That'll help you decide what you've got. You have 100 XP to spend. You can distribute it as much as you please. If you have any question those are attributes. Never mind. Dismiss what I said about attributes. The next page is where it is skills. And that's where you'll find the table you're looking for your skills. Stuff like your ballistic skill, your weapon skill, your ability to notice things. All of these will come in handy. Of course, you can spend that XP if you want on your attributes, and that's on page 25. You have 100 XP to basically do whatever you want with.
So to go from 1 to 2 is 4, from 2 to 3 is 6.
Yeah, but if you were, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then going from 3 to 4 is 10?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And as a human, your species maximum for every stat is 8. So 8, if you were strength 8, you'd be like a bodybuilder. You know, you'd be competing in the hive's strongest, I don't know, hab worker competitions. Like, you would be formidable.
Okay, so it looks like on page 93 is the Imperial Guardsman archetype, and that will give us our it gives us some an archetype ability, and it gives us the suggested attributes and suggested skills
Mm-hmm.
to start with.
Yep.
So when it says here suggested attributes and the XP cost is 48 on the side, are we spending some of our 100 points just to get our stats, or are you?
I'm just giving you. I'm not gonna. I'm just giving you the stats you. I'm giving you the stats that come with the archetype, because my thinking is you're gonna get trained by the Imperial Guard, right? You're gonna go through training, so you're gonna learn those things anyways. The XP is for you to spend. The XP for me is what you've gained in your life experience in the hive up until now, right? So those don't cost you XP. The things in there.
Okay, so we get all of the suggested attributes, suggested skills, and talents are all free.
Correct. I'm making you a bit more powerful than the average guardsman. Well, for good reason.
Because you're going to throw a bunch of shit at us.
Oh, I'm going to throw a bunch of shit at you. Yeah, this, so if you see page 93, you can copy down the stuff from there, but don't worry about the XP cost, and then on page 25 and 26, you can spend your XP on skills and attributes. Don't worry about war gear, you will all be assigned that on your own. But talents can be worth buying as well. They are generally pretty situational, but can be pretty strong. I remember last time I ran a game, there was one of my players played a Sororitas who basically get granted a bonus against corruption rolls, and initially they didn't think that it was all that important, but it ended up being just hugely effective as they traveled through the warp at one point without a Geller field. So, for example, one example of talent would be like Prometheum proficiency, and that gives you a bonus to using a flamethrower. So if you want to, they're, again, very situational, but in those situations can be useful. They tend to be expensive in XP, though. So let me know when you have your XP spent, and then we'll go from there.
It's going to be a second for me for sure.
Yeah, of course.
I need to
No,
read through all
take
these
your time.
talents.
Yeah, my character, my computer is being slow, so it's like.
Oof. Yeah, I feel you. My computer was like stuttering earlier today, and I was not sure what was going on. That's interesting. I'm looking at a lot of the talents, and they are very good, and I would not suggest passing up on at least one extra talent. Some of them are crazy. Beyond that, if you have any... Rachel!
What?
Rachel redeemed Harry Chooses Violence.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, what am I gonna do with that? Because right now we're in character creation. I guess I'm gonna have to... Oh, I know what's going to happen. So, Rachel, I don't know if we're going to get to your chooses violence tonight, but I promise you that your chooses violence will be chosen. Violence will be done upon them in your name.
Okay, so I'm looking at this Imperial Guardsman thing on page 93.
Yep.
And it shows the skills at the top, ballistic skill 2.
Yes.
But then down below it says suggested skills, and it has ballistic skill 3.
So, okay, so again, it's Wrath and Glory can be a little bit clunky, and that's one of the things I begrudge it for. But other than that, I think it's a fine system. So, it says skill. So that means by default you get ballistic skill 2. I'm going to say you start with ballistic skill 3, so ignore that. You just start with the suggested skills and your suggested attributes.
Yeah, I think so. Basically, my understanding is character creation is like just coming to the table with an Imperial Guardsman costs 6 points, experience points. So you end up like, in the way that this works is because if you have multiple, because there's different tiers of characters that are wildly different power scales, like having a Space Marine and a Guardsman, is they've tried to make rules that allow you to play both in the same system. So everything has an experience cost associated to it as a way to, if you want to have like a super powerful Guardsman that matches up with a Space Marine, the Space Marine just coming out of the box, out of character creation, uses a bunch of XP right out of the box. So that's how they've tried to balance it. Since we're all playing Guardsmen, Harry's just giving us a bunch of the stuff for free, right? All the suggested stuff without us having to spend experience on it. And he's saying anything that's off that on page 93, we get everything there for free, and then another 100 experience points on top of that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Holy shit! Wait a minute. So I'm really having fun reading through these talents. One of them is bombardment. You do need rank of 2 or above, so I don't think that'd be accessible to any of you. But it literally means just that once per game session, you can call in a void ship strike or an air strike or an artillery strike. It's very funny. Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So yeah, let me know when you're ready, and then we will get on to I guess the start of the game.
Are there going to be opportunities to change archetypes at all in this campaign, or no?
It really depends. I would say probably not, but it could happen.
So, with the attributes 3 across the board.
Yeah, 3 across the board is what you get for free. Then you have 100 XP to spend as you please.
It's 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2.
Yep, correct.
For the willpower, intelligence, and fellowship, is that the
yes? Fellowship is like your charisma stat, pretty much.
Okay.
That's the way to think about it.
Wait, so like that one's 2?
Yeah.
Yes, your fellowship is 2. Your int is 1, and your willpower is 2.
So we start off really dumb.
Well, again, you can spend XP. But generally speaking, yes. Your average Guardsman is not going to be having like is not going to be highly educated. And so your characters probably won't know this at the time of recruitment. This would be kept from them. But being a Guardsman is basically a death sentence. And not just in that combat is incredibly difficult and you'll be going up against the odds, but also that you don't leave the guard. You know, it's like you don't there's no retirement from it. As an infantryman, you will be either tasked with you will either be put on a crusade force, which means you get off when the crusade is done, or you're just part of your regiment for good. And of course, crusades can and very often do take upwards of centuries sometimes. So essentially, you're going to be in the Guard for life. Of course, promotion is possible, or even changing your position in the Imperial military system if you catch the eye of somebody. Or
get recruited into the Inquisition.
Yeah.
Not as an Inquisitor, likely, but as a henchman.
Who knows? But you could end up as an Inquisitor one day. All this is possible. Unlikely for your average Guardsman, but
that's possible. What's great about 40K is that it's so open that anything literally is possible, almost.
Yeah, like one of the Chaos Gods only exists because one of the factions got a bit too kinky, and so they got so kinky that a Chaos God, Slaanesh, popped into existence and started eating their souls. And that's one of the reasons they're going extinct. It's the Eldar I'm talking about. The Eldar are like space elves. There's very few of them left. They're a dying race, and they got great tech, but just not the numbers to actually make much of an impact on a grand scale.
As I look through these and try to build out further, since you're assigning us war gear, can I request a sniper archetype?
Yes, absolutely. You can have a long Laz. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I was thinking of... I was expecting more people today, but we'll fix that for next time. I'll recruit some people. I know I can definitely get Jane in here, at least. So I was hoping to get like a basically a decent-sized... like a fire team going, you know? One of you in an anti-tank role, one of you in a sort of repair mechanic type role, another in a medic role. I mean, again, all of these are up to you. And within these roles, there's different options, right? If you wanted to be anti-tank, you could have a missile launcher, which would be pretty cumbersome. You'd only have a few shots, but it's pretty good. And it's versatile, can be used for destroying buildings and for taking out infantry if you load the type of ammunition. Or you could have a melt-a-gun, which is a lot shorter range, but basically turns anything it touches into gas. It's so hot. And so you could use that. Or, fuck, you don't even need a launcher. You could just have a fuck ton of grenades. As a medic, you're a medic. You've got your med kits. You've got medication. You carry supplies, food. Your choice of weapon, if you choose, you could have a Laz Gun, maybe even a hotshot Laz, if you wanted to spend some XP on that. Or, bolt gun, even. A bolt gun might be hard to get, but if you wanted to spend a lot of your XP on that, I'd allow it. For those of you that don't know, bolt guns are essentially, they shoot gigantic bullets that explode when they enter a target. So, essentially giant hand grenades that, not a very nice weapon, but a very effective one. There's also the option to bring different types. There's all sorts of special weapons. You could bring... Here, I'll actually just pull up the list, because there's so many. But we'll get to that in a minute. Once you're done putting in your stats, we can do war gear. As Guardsman, though, there will be some stuff that you'll struggle to get your hands on. Pretty much anything above rarity, above rare, in terms of rarity, is going to be practically impossible to get your hands on. Rare will be difficult, but not impossible. Uncommon, you might have to do some looking, but you'll probably find one. And common, of course, means you can just basically get it by snooping around a bit. Okay. If two of you wanted to team up, you could also be a heavy weapons squad, meaning you could bring like a Laz cannon or a heavy bolter or something.
So, Harry.
Yes.
This is just a question, like for like next week.
Yeah.
When we have the rest of them, we're gonna roll the 2d20 again then as well?
I will have them do that among themselves, and then I'll just throw you in, because I'd want to start, like, there. So what I'm thinking is once we get done, I'll run the opening of the campaign for you guys, and then I have a way, thanks to Rachel, who's allowed me to do horrendous violence to you, I have a way you could meet up with another squad.
My computer hates this fill-in character sheet that JT provided.
Ugh. Would it be possible to I mean, I wouldn't say go print one. That wouldn't be a good idea. Yeah, just if it's really not working, you can just write stuff down on a sheet of paper maybe, and then fill it in later.
Hold on. Sheet of paper.
If that doesn't work, you'd even just like write it down in like a notes document on your computer, and then eventually, if you want, you know.
Yeah, I'm just taking notes right now, and then we'll transfer it later.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm just going through and sort of picking ones that sound good. And then I'll have to see if I have enough, how much I have enough for. Oh, here we go. Special Weapons Trooper. Many soldiers, that's militarum, receive training. You may select one of the following weapons as standard war gear, replacing your primary weapon, including in one of those choices is a long last. So I don't know. Do you want me to take that talent?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Okay, so special weapons trooper.
Oh, how much do talents cost?
It says on the talent when you go to the talents page.
It looks like most of them are 20 or 30 XP each.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they're decently pricey. Yes, Rachel was reminiscing about the last time I ran this. Rachel played a bad guy who got taken out by a worse bad guy, and then her soul got put into a piece of into a soul stone by an Eldar stone, which then came out in the form of a demon, and then eventually did get blasted to pieces. But the last Wrath and Glory campaign I ran was quite possibly the most insane campaign I've ran in a while, but I think it's going to be tonally pretty different from this one. You're not going to be doing so much planet hopping in this one. Most of it, I think, will take place on one world.
Okay, I'm taking Trademark Weapon.
Okay.
You have trained extensively with a single weapon that you keep on your person at all times. It has almost become an extension of your body. choose one of your weapons to become a trademark weapon, which is long last. This talent only affects that weapon and no others of its type, so it only works with my specific long last.
Yep.
Whenever you make a successful attack with your trademark weapon, you deal plus double rank additional ED. Don't know what that means, but it sounds good.
That is pretty good. That basically is damage. It means that per rank, because you can buy multiple ranks of a skill. You could buy that skill twice, and then you'd have double the rank. So essentially, you're getting a +1 to your weapon. Which is actually very good. That'll make the difference between wounding and killing in most cases.
Okay.
Of course, that being said, you're using Laz Guns, which, while Warhammer players like to jokingly refer to them as flashlights, the truth is that Laz Guns hit with the power of a 308 round. So, at least in my interpretation. It really depends on who you ask in the lore. Some of the crappier writers will say that it has the power of a 50 cal. Generally speaking, I like to split the difference between it having very little power and it having way too much, and just go with the 308, because that is a meaty enough round, not obscene.
Well, I will say this, that trying to compare novels to stats in the tabletop war game, and even novels to other novels, it is folly to try to keep some kind of cohesion around numbers.
Yeah.
Specifically, like 40K has never been good at numbers.
No, never.
The value of things, how many things can live here, how many, right? Like,
yeah,
how many billions of people live, but then there's like 10,000 Space Marines in the whole universe.
Well, initially at the start of the heresy,
whatever.
yeah. Originally, it was intended for 10,000. They made a few more.
No, 10,000 total now because, well, no, I guess there's, well, whatever. Like, that's what my point is, like, there's like,
it makes
and
no
part
sense.
of that can be talked through about how absolutely huge the Imperium is, that that there's no kind of there's just simply no like central archive or central database for all this information. So
I mean, there isn't a standard currency. The Imperium's just too big for that to work. It spans across the entire galaxy. So,
right, so I'm blowing 50 points on being a sniper, 50 XP. So then, let me see what else I got for here.
So tonight's session I don't think is going to go as long, just because we have fewer people, and, well, the way we're going to start the story isn't going to take too long either. After that, well, I'm hoping I can get more people to show up. Although I'm sure it'll be fine. I know of at least 2 people who I can interest. Who I can bother into joining in.
My Google Docs is not going to work. Like, it's being incredibly slow too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, frustratingly slow.
Oh, how can I fix this? So like, how much of your character sheet have you gotten done so far? Okay, I will take a screenshot of the character sheet and drop it in the Discord, if that'll help. Maybe. If you can open it on your phone.
Yes.
So let me just pull that up. How about everyone else? How are you guys? How's your character creation coming along?
I was doing great until I found out you had to buy those special things.
Talents? I mean, you don't have to buy them. Okay, let's just take a a screenshot of this and see if it'll help. Today's session has been apparently cursed by the stream gremlins, but that is okay. Okay, another one. And there we go. Oh, nope, go away. Okay, there we go. I'll be sending you the character sheet in a bit, and then hopefully you'll have a little more luck with that. Okay. Okay, there we go. I dropped the screenshots in the Discord, and I don't know if that'll help you. I hope it does. If not, you can always just follow the character creation in the book at a later point. And that should help you decently. What talents were you looking at, Turing?
Oh, I'm just looking through the list right now. So far, I like Hive Explorer. I think that fits thematically with being a scrapper who's kind of used to scrambling around inside the hive.
Yeah, no, that definitely works. I think that's a great skill to take. And will definitely help you in this campaign. I have this campaign will be taking place within an assault on a city, so that will be more than useful.
All right, I think I have, if I've done my math right, I have 4 points of experience left to spend.
It can be awfully hard to do something with 4 experience.
And by
Bump a couple
2,
things to 1.
I can bump 2 skills up to 1.
Oh, yeah.
Let me figure out.
That's worth doing.
Maybe cunning 1 and deception 1. Yeah, so the 2 talents I took was Special Weapons Trooper, which is 20 experience plus the value of my long last, which is 6, so that's 26 experience. Trademark Weapon is 30 experience. I brought my BS up to 5, which was 18 experience. I brought my stealth up to 3, which is 12 experience. Cunning, Deception 1, and then I increased my survival and my athletics level by 1.
Okay, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah. That seems all good. So you'll have your long las, your flak armor, all the basic Imperial Guard gear. So, just for reference, the way I generally do combat is I really only count damage and stuff like that when it, in my eyes, makes sense. For example, if you hit a target dead on, like an unarmored person with a Laz Gun dead on, they're dead. Like, your odds of surviving that are slim to none. And so, I'll generally just have that drop them. However, if you were to, say, be going against let's say a Blood Pact trooper, Chaos Cultist that is more properly trained and equipped, then I'd actually start worrying about that stuff. So, that's just something to keep in mind in general. Like, if you hit shoot like a random dude, like just even a lightly armored person with like a rocket, they're fucking toast. I'm gonna make you roll to hit, obviously, but beyond that, I wouldn't worry too much about the rest. And the way I do ammo is...
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. The way I do ammo, too, because in Warhammer, right, you have so many different types of weapons, and you have just, especially in Laz Guns, massive ammo capacity. What I tend to do is that on a complication, if you like roll a critical failure, I'll make a roll, and one of the potential outcomes of that is that you run out of ammo for that magazine. And of course, you gotta put in a new one. That'll take an action. But eventually, if you keep rolling poorly, you could straight up run out. And if you're away from another unit or an ammo carrier of some kind, then that could be a problem. So, JT, your sheet's done, and Ray Alexa, how are you? How's it coming?
Not on the sheet. It's in notes, but yeah.
Yeah, well, still functional.
Yep.
Slowly, so frustratingly slowly.
Okay. Once Toring's back, I'm gonna see how he's coming along, and if he's coming along well enough, I might just... I'll probably start you off with like a sort of an intro little scenario, probably having less to do with actually beginning the combat and more to do with your training. And for that, you probably won't have to worry about the extreme specifics of your character sheet very much.
We gonna take a break before we do that? Like
yeah, sure. I mean, we can take a break now.
Why?
Why not?
Okay.
Because there doesn't seem to be much else going on, so I'll just... Yeah, we're gonna go to break now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yes, Rachel says that our problems are, Ophelia, Rachel's character, caught chewing on wires and stuff. That's about right. Spank My Betty, you're asking, what are the odds of a TPK? In the intro, 0. In episode 1,
higher than 0.
I'd say 20%. If they make some really bad decisions, that is possible. However, if they generally play smart, I'm not going to murk everybody at once. But, like, let's say you decide to, like, the three of you charge World Eater's Corn Berserker, well, you're probably going to end that in a fine paste. Anyways, let's go on to break, and I will see you guys in, like, 10-ish minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes, let's say. 8:25. Hello, people. We are back. Smack My Betty, thank you for the information about the new Wendy's fries still tasting like cardboard. As for your other stats that I realized I forgot about, resilience is your toughness rating plus 1, and then you add your armor rating as well to resilience.
Okay.
So your armor plus your toughness plus 1. And what that does is when you get hit, say you have a resilience of 7, and you get hit for 8, you take 1 damage. If you get hit for 6, you take no damage.
Okay, so toughness plus 1 is the base.
Plus your armor.
And then our armor... Where did I put that? I did not paste that. I thought I pasted it somewhere. Okay. Flak armor, Laz Gun, knife.
Yep.
Is the war gear that we have. Black armor here. Does anybody know off the top of their head what the
I think black armor is plus 2, but I will double check that. Here, I'll just search it.
Black armor 3 AR.
Oh, 3, okay. So, and your wounds, by the way, are 2 times your rank plus your toughness. So for you, it would be toughness score plus 2. And your wounds determine how much damage you take before you're down and out.
Okay, so 3 equals 7. All right, so and defense was what?
Defense is... Oh, defense. Okay, yeah, let me pull that up. We already did resilience, we did wounds.
So we're tier 1?
Yes, you're tier 1.
Okay, so wounds would be toughness plus 1. Max shock equals will plus tier. So will plus 1 there.
Oh, your defense is the difficulty to hit you, so basically what they have to roll to, like, not miss.
Oh, that's an I.
And your defense is your initiative minus 1. Yeah, they must equal your defense to hit you.
Okay.
And of course that gets modified by being in cover, by being concealed, by depending on, you know, what you're doing. So it's not just like if you have a subpar initiative, you're just going to get shot to pieces. Like, if you play it smart, it can be augmented very well.
Our speed is 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Size is...
Don't worry about size, just 1, I guess. You're a person. Like, I'm not going to mechanically worry about that.
Determination equals toughness.
Yep, it just equals toughness, and then shock is willpower plus tier. So if your willpower is 2, you're tier 1, so you would have toughness or shock of 3.
Okay, so flak armor is 3, and then we have a what did we have for our weapon? Was a Laz Gun.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the Laz Gun. It is a very reliable weapon. I mean, it gets made fun of by Warhammer nerds for being a flashlight, because compared to a lot of the other stuff in universe, it's not very powerful, but for a modern army today, the Laz Gun would be the ideal weapon. It uses a universally charged battery pack that is charged electrically. It has a huge amount of ammunition, very long range. It is unbelievably accurate, barely ever breaks down. You can even charge the batteries through, like, ambient energy if you want to break them. But, you know, still, if you're in a pinch, you could even heat them up on the fire and use them that way. Like, they're crazy. Also, you can tinker with them and turn them into explosives. So, very useful weapons. The perfect logistical piece for a galaxy-spanning army. Because, you know, supplying ammunition's a pain in the ass, so you might as well just give them a rechargeable fucking gun.
Alright, so you see Laz Gun 7 plus 1 ED.
Yes. Just, yeah, mark that down. So the ED is like if you roll a... Depending on when you roll a bonus, you can add 1 to the damage. I wouldn't worry about that too much. See, by the way, you might look at your wounds and see that, like, you maybe only have, like, 7 or 8 wounds. Maybe even less.
Wow.
Keep that in mind. A Laz Gun can be lethal to you.
Does 7 damage.
Yeah. I mean, of course, if with your resilience,
You have to overcome the resilience, right?
so yeah, you have to overcome the resilience to deal damage. Think of, like, the resilience is like your soak.
Okay. Range 12, 24, 36.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about range.
24, 36.
So that's short, medium, long. Again, I would not. Don't worry about that stuff. All your combat basically is going to be occurring at short and medium range, and I'm really not going to penalize you guys for engaging at longer ranges either. Ooh, we got a new follower. Pencil Man. Is that what that says? Let me put that in front of all the window captures so I can see it. Pencil Mage. That's what it is. I love that name. That's a great name. We appreciate you following us. I don't know, you're following us on our, like, Session 0 stream where nothing happens. That's pretty exciting. So once you guys have done that, you know, your wounds, your resilience, all that fun stuff, I think we're good to go. JT, how you doing?
Good. I found an online character creator, which is be easier.
Drop a link in chat. That'll or in the Discord. That will be essential.
So the Laz Gun uses ballistic skill?
Yes, ballistic skill. If you want to hit someone with it, like club them, then that would be weapon skill. But ballistics is if you want to shoot.
Okay. Even though it's not ballistic, it's a laser.
Yeah, it doesn't follow a ballistic trajectory. I was about to say that. I was like... No, your job there is just the skill point and click. That's the Laz Gun.
Yeah.
Very easy to use weapon. Again, there's a reason the Imperium arms everybody with it. So yeah, JT, are you done, you think, with your character so far?
Yes.
And Ray Alexa, I will make you a character sheet. And Toring, how is your character looking?
I think I'm done.
Okay. Honestly, we've gone through all the steps together, so if you're missing something, then I'm missing something. So, as far as I'm concerned, you're done. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask. And I'm sorry to our viewers. What's going on here? We only have 3 people, and I would rather start the campaign with the full cast. I'm not sure, you know, I think there's been some communication errors happening, and that, you know, that it happens. It's okay. So I'm going to recruit some more people for this campaign, and then we will start properly next week. And we won't be making characters on stream next week. We will hop right into the action. And yeah, can't wait to see you then. Would anybody like to? Well, y'all want to plug your pluggables? We'll go at least on my view counterclockwise. So Toe Ring, Ray Alexa, then JT.
Okay. Hey everybody, I am the underscore touring on Twitter and elsewhere on the internet. And you can find me right back here next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern for session 1 of Warhammer.
Ray Alexa,
Ignore
do
the puppy.
you want to plug your stuff?
Hi,
Yeah.
hi. I'm Ray Alexa. You can also find me here next Saturday for session 1 of Warhammer. Things were a little rough on my end, but I'm looking forward to playing this game. And you can follow me on Twitter at RAChastaway, RACHASTAWAY. Share it in the chat if you want to follow me on Twitter. And I will see you all next week.
JT, what's up with you? How you doing? Where can we find you?
All right, hey folks, I'm JT. You can find me online at Zensomancer, and the next time you can catch me is next Wednesday on the Vocal Tales channel. This channel at 8 p.m. playing the One Ring as Syrian, the Dunedain Ranger.
Alrighty, and I'm Harry. You can catch me obviously here on Saturdays, but also in that One Ring game where I play Groin the Dwarf. Also, listen to the Saratoga by Night podcast. I host that. It's good. It's crazy. We just had 2 Diableries back to back. Things are havoc, but it is fun. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I know this has been a bit of a mess, and I promise you more will happen next session. Shit's gonna kick off, so I hope you're ready for that, and I would encourage you to tune in because it's gonna get crazy. Thank you so much for watching, and just have a great night. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.